The IRS has launched a massive attack on the Second Amendment. Now, in my opinion, the most powerful weapon that exists in America today is the weaponization of the federal government against its citizens. So, did this guy, the IRS attacked him, really tried to destroy his business.
Right.
And was this guy like a criminal? Was he stealing tax money? Was he evading taxes?
None of those.
Was he laundering money?
Nope.
So what was his crime, Tiffany?
Absolutely nothing.
His crime is that he was running a successful gun store in the state of Colorado. Or I'm sorry, in the state of Georgia. So his name is Andrew Clyde. So in 2013, the IRS was weaponized to destroy a Georgia businessman. Now this guy, so according to Fox News, his ordeal with the IRS began after the Sandy Hook shooting and massive sales boom, and his gun store just exploded with sales.
Yeah, well, when we had the gun store, we had it through Sandy Hook, and that was, a time that everybody got afraid that things were going to get banned, and everybody rushed out and bought stuff, like COVID.
We would have a line of people out the door.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was chaos.
So obviously, your sales go up, and you have to make those deposits every day.
Okay, but we didn't get to that yet. So the Bank Security Act requires financial institutions to report cash deposits of more than $10,000 to the IRS. But since terrorists and other criminals know this rule, they will typically deposit money just under that $10,000 threshold. Now, I learned about this from watching The Sopranos, but they used to go and deposit.
This is where you learn your stuff from The Sopranos.
Just keeping it real, Tiffany, keeping it real. They used to go and deposit $9,900 just so they could be just underneath that $10,000
threshold. Did they really think
threshold.
that was going to work, though? Like, literally?
I bet you it did for a very long time until they realized, they know about this.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So this guy was so when we had the gun store, the very first thing I would do every single morning would be to count all the money that was in the registers from the day before, figure out how much change I need, and then I would go deposit the money to deposit so I could pay bills and buy more guns, get change. And it was every day at like 8 o'clock. I was at the bank doing it. Everybody knew it, right?
Yeah, but you weren't depositing $10,000.
Again, that's not the point.
I know.
It's called structuring when you're making deposits under $10,000 consistently and they see a pattern.
Gotcha.
So all of a sudden, the IRS seized $940,000 from Clyde's business. They just took it.
Wow.
Just imagine as a business owner, all of your liquid money, which I guarantee you, he had a bunch of bills he had to pay with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Probably had employees.
Well, and, most of the times you're on terms with these suppliers. So, you get the guns and then you sell them and then you pay the suppliers back.
Right.
So.
And then all of a sudden the IRS just takes money.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And they took everything, right? All of it.
We don't know if that's everything. It's a very specific number, $940,313. So that's probably everything.
Okay, fine. So essentially draining all of his liquid assets.
Yeah.
Got it.
So Clyde says, I have 3 combat tours in Iraq and Kuwait, and I have probably never been more scared in my life than when those IRS agents left my conference room on April 12th because I had no idea how to fight them.
This is truth.
Now, here's the shocking part, though. This is what really pisses me off about our government. Even though Clyde had done nothing illegal and it was just depositing cash on a regular basis, the IRS wasn't willing to give him his money back. So they offered him, they said, hey, listen, we will return $600,000. We agree you've done nothing wrong, okay? We're going to give you $600,000, but you have to forfeit the rest of the other $300,000. How many people do you think, guys, write a comment down below, how many people do you think the IRS is able to just intimidate?
Yeah. And
they just say, you know what, fine, I'll sign the paper, I'll move on. Honestly, I bet you it's a lot. So did they
think that he was just not going to put up a fight?
They're probably thinking, we crippled you. Right?
You just need your money back.
You have no money. Something is better than nothing.
What are they going to do with that money?
Whatever they want. It's the same thing like if you guys ever get pulled over, it's called a civil asset forfeiture. But if you ever get pulled over for speeding and the cop finds like $5,000 of cash in your vehicle, the cops are allowed to just take the money because they assume most people don't have that much cash laying around. They assume you're doing something illegal and they just take it.
So, but how much money, how much cash, what's the cutoff?
I don't think there is. I think this is government overreach at its finest. And most people, again, if you don't have the money to go hire attorneys, most people are just like, fine, whatever. I'll take my kick in the face and I'll just move all of my life. Okay, so this guy, Clyde, he refused to back down. He took him to court. And the court sided with Clyde, and they were forced to give him all of his money back.
Oh, good.
Then in 2019, the House and the Senate unanimously passed legislation to prohibit the IRS from carrying out seizures relating to structuring transactions unless, this should have been the rule in the beginning anyway.
Right.
Unless the structuring transactions were illegal.
Illegal, yeah.
If you're a drug dealer and you're doing stuff like this, you deserve to get your money taken.
So they're saying, okay, you take the money, but if they find out that you've done nothing wrong, they have to give you back.
No, they're saying you can't just take the money unless you have evidence.
Unless you have evidence. So you
that
can't
something
take the
wrong
money.
is happening.
Well, yeah, because innocent until proven guilty, right?
That's what it's supposed to be, except red flag laws.
Well, yeah, and this apparently.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So
I didn't even know that this existed.
The really cool thing that happened is this guy Clyde, he started fighting in Congress, fighting in the Senate, really trying to push to stop this overreach by the government. And in this last election, he actually won a congressional seat in the state of Georgia.
Oh, cool.
And this dude, he said, I never had a desire to go to Congress. Never even thought about it. But he was so pissed off about this that he decided to go fight for it. Now, the crappy part is, if you guys know Republican Doug Collins, this guy is taking Doug Collins' spot, which sucks that we lost Doug Collins because he was an amazing congressman who ran for the Senate, lost the Senate, but then also lost his congressional seat. So whatever. At least we're getting a very pro-gun person in there.
Right.
So here's what his goal is as a freshman in Congress. He says he wants to completely eliminate the background check system passed in 1993, the Brady Act bill, which I think is very interesting, very smart. He wants to eliminate taxes on firearms and ammunition, repealing the Pittman-Robertson Act and the National Firearms Act, which I think is great. I didn't even know about this. I had heard rumors when we had the gun store, and I guess I knew that gun manufacturers had to pay a tax.
Right.
But they're required to pay a 10% tax for all ammunition and all guns that are manufactured.
That's high.
It's really high, and it's bullshit. They're using it to fund hunting stuff. Why? Why am I, as a consumer, paying more money for a constitutional right so that you can fund hunting education?
Yeah.
If I want hunting education, I'll just go pay for it myself. I don't need you to pay for this stuff for me.
And I don't see a bunch of hunting education
I don't even see hunting education. So what are you even spending this money on? Exactly. But that's the problem of the government. The government wants more and more money. They want more, but you guys can't even manage what you already have. And it's very scary in my opinion. We can't just let them have more.
Sure. So this guy's going for a lot. That's good.
It's going for a lot. Now, Benjamin Franklin has a really powerful quote from 1759. It says, "They that can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety."
It goes to show that when people stand up and fight for something, that it stops them in their tracks. And we actually, it's when we kind of just feel defeated like a beaten down dog and just stop fighting for gun rights and stop, writing letters and signing things and pushing our congressmen and stuff like that to do things. That's when we're going to lose.
We as gun owners, and especially new gun owners, if there's any new gun owners on here, I hear people say, nobody's coming for your guns. Nobody wants to take your firearms. But the reason you believe that is that you don't see these little tiny battles that gun owners are in all across the nation every single year.
And this is the way it works. It's never just a outright, we're coming to take your guns, except for that frickin' O'Rourke retard. But
do you know why you said that?
No.
He got arrested for a burglary, breaking into somebody's house.
That's right.
So doesn't it make sense that the burglar doesn't want homeowners to have guns?
Yeah, I forgot about that. But it's never going to happen, flat out like that. It's going to be small incremental changes that you think mean nothing, like universal background checks, firearm registration, that lead to, down the road, gun confiscation, right? So buyback, stuff like that, where people just, give in. So it's very slowly. And it's been happening very slowly over, hundreds of years. So.
Yeah.